So you've just learned that your employer-sponsored retirement plan offers something called a Schwab PCRA, but you aren't quite exactly sure what that is and if you should be using one. We're going to answer both of those questions for you in this video right now. Hi everyone, Joe Allaria, partner and wealth advisor with CarsonAllaria Wealth Management, a nationwide PCRA advisor. Today, we're going to help you answer your PCRA questions, and it makes sense to start with the first one. What is a PCRA? Well, PCRA stands for Personal Choice Retirement Account. They're offered through Charles Schwab, but what it actually is a self-directed brokerage account, which is a feature that your employer-sponsored retirement plan, your 401k, your 403b, a feature that your plan might offer you. But to understand truly how a PCRA works, you really need to understand the traditional 401k setup to be able to contrast the two. So the typical retirement plan setup is your retirement plan provides you a menu of investment options called the core lineup. Usually it's 15 to 25 different funds that you can choose from and invest however you'd like. This 15 to 25 fund menu is supposed to be broad enough and give you enough options to choose from to meet a lot of different investment objectives, but obviously just being 15 to 25 funds, your options are still limited. The other thing to note is that in these core lineups, you often see mutual funds. Every once in a while, you might see exchange traded funds or ETFs, but I've never seen a lineup that has individual stocks, or you're not going to see individual bonds. You're not going to be able to trade in things like options. So again, you're going to have more restrictions with a core lineup than with a self-directed brokerage account. Now, also, you'll see a lot of lineups that include something called a target date retirement fund, which I actually think can work really well for a lot of people, especially early in their careers, as long as it's a low cost, high quality fund. However, some people like to go off schedule and invest in funds or stocks or other investments that are not included in their core lineup. That's where a PCRA can come into play and offer the ability to do that. So what are the reasons that you would choose a PCRA? The first one is just that. You're going to have a significantly larger selection of investments to choose from when going with a PCRA. And that leads to the next benefit, which is more customization. And more customization is key for all investors, but especially for those that are getting close to retirement, as the traditional 401k core lineups are pretty abysmal at offering sufficient investment options for folks in this category. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about bond funds. A lot of core lineups that I see offer a small handful of bond funds to choose from. And most of the time, those bond funds are index bond funds, which are passive and have historically underperformed actively managed bond funds in their same category. Now, a lot of people overlook this because index stock funds have historically done fairly well, but we don't believe that index bond funds are the best place to invest for folks that are within 10 years of retirement. So moving on to another benefit of using a PCRA, PCRAs are going to allow for seamless integration with Schwab investment advisors. Maybe you're the type who doesn't want to make your own investment selections. You want to outsource that responsibility to an investment advisor. A PCRA, again, can allow you to do that. See, with most traditional 401k plans where you're using the core lineup, those are participant directed, which means that you have to make the decision. You have to make the buys and the sells. You have to actually be clicking the buttons online and doing all of that yourself. But again, with a PCRA, you have the ability to outsource that responsibility to one of 15,000 different independent advisors who are on the Schwab platform, and that was as of 2024. Another benefit of using a PCRA is that it allows for advisor choice. Some people might say, well, my 401k plan already offers a program where I can get investment advice from an advisor through my 401k. And that may be completely true. But in many cases, you're not assigned to an individual person. You might be assigned to a department or a team of advisors, and you may have to call an 800 number to call in and ask a question. The person you speak to may or may not be aware of your entire situation. In fact, I've heard multiple cases where participants or employees are enrolled in these managed platforms where they're paying an additional fee for an advisor to choose their allocation, and they've never even talked to that advisor. So that is hardly the way to get to better outcomes. However, with a PCRA, you can vet your own advisor and choose one that is a good fit for you. And going along with that, if you already have an advisor who is approved and uses the Schwab platform, a PCRA will allow you to just continue to work with your advisor. A lot of people already have their own advisor and they don't want to work with a different advisor on their 401k. So if you enroll in a PCRA and your advisor is already on the Schwab platform, now that advisor can continue to manage your 401k along with the rest of your assets. So those are some reasons that you might want to use a PCRA. Why might you not want to use a PCRA, or when would a PCRA be a bad option for you? I would say first, if you are inexperienced and you're trying to do it yourself. For those in this category, a PCRA is probably not the best place to start. Core lineups are created in part to protect participants from themselves. They are designed and are supposed to have nothing but high quality, diversified investments in them. And the good and bad of a PCRA is that you can invest in pretty much anything you want. That gives you a lot of options. If you're inexperienced, that could open the door for you to choose some investments that are not high quality and not diversified. So if you're in that category, it's probably best to use a blend of the funds that are provided to you, or even to start out using something like a target date fund that is going to be diversified for you as you learn the ropes and develop your knowledge in investments. So another situation where a PCRA might not be the best option for you is if you're just getting started. You've just started working, you've just started in your career, you don't have a large balance in your 401k. It may not make as much sense for you to go out and try and build out this complex portfolio. It may be better for you or make more sense for you to just enroll in the default investment alternative, oftentimes would be a target date fund, and to simply use that until you build your balance up, where it might make more sense for you to spend that time and try and build out something that's more customized. Another reason that you may not need to use a PCRA is if you feel like your core lineup has sufficient options for you to accomplish your investment goals. And this could definitely be the case. Some 401k lineups do a very good job of providing enough funds in different sectors. You might see funds that you like that match your philosophy. By all means, if that's the case, then use that core lineup. It'll be easier for you to manage, less platforms you have to go onto. And so if that's the case, that would be a good reason not to use a PCRA. Last but not least, if you want just the easiest and quickest setup, using your core lineup is going to be the way to go. With a PCRA, it does involve enrolling in the PCRA program, opening a separate PCRA account. You'll probably have another login to get into Schwab, along with whatever your login is to get onto your retirement plan provider. So if you want the quickest, easiest setup, then you probably don't want to go with a PCRA. You want to stick with your core lineup. So there you have it. A PCRA offers a lot of advantages, customization, more investment options, the ability to work with an advisor of your choosing. And that's why we like PCRAs so much. So if you have that option available in your retirement plan, I highly encourage you to go to our website, CarsonAllaria.com, and you can click the Contact Us button, schedule a call, and we can talk through the best way to invest that PCRA. Or if you haven't enrolled yet, we'll take you step by step through how to set up that PCRA and how to get your contributions going toward the PCRA for the future. So with that, if you have any PCRA questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thanks for watching. Take care.